At Corporate Health, what we do and what makes us different from other people is that, first of all, what we talk about, we've really lived through. We don't go into companies, have an enlightening team building session with them, or give them some kind of consultation report and then ask them to implement it and then hope that that works well. So our approach is quite different in the sense that when we do team building, for instance, it's what I call no-nonsense team building, meaning that it's very specifically tailored and focused towards what's not working right, why are people not getting along, what do they need to get along better, and then relate that to, okay, when we go back to work Monday morning, how are we going to do it? So there's a specific action plan after a team building. Furthermore, what we also do differently is that we evaluate after 3 months and after 6 months, if the client wants that, to see, what worked well, what didn't work well, and then readjust whatever wasn't running smoothly to make that work better. That's one example of the team building we do. Furthermore, we do personal coaching, business coaching, life coaching, career coaching, consultancy, mediation. So what happens is when people don't get along within a company, usually I come in and I manage to unearth the non-legal specifics. So, two directors might be fighting, two managers might not be getting along. And then what we do is we specifically really unearth whatever emotions are unconscious, unaware, and you bring that up, people get along again, productivity goes up, employee satisfaction increases, and we have healthy, happy companies, thus corporate health. An example of non-legal mediation, I get called by a manager I know, and she's telling me that there's this wonderful internet startup, very successful, 2 owners, shareholders, and these guys can't stand each other anymore. I mean, they really hate each other. And I'm saying it respectfully, but this is the reality of the problem she calls with. So we go in, we have a meeting, in this case with the manager who's doing the consultancy program with these 2 guys, and at the beginning of the session in the morning, she asked me and she said, well, Erik, what do you expect? How long is this going to take? How many days? How many weeks? So I said, look, their time is very valuable. Their money is equally valuable. My time is very valuable. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to do my very best. And hopefully at the end of the day, will be a good end towards the goal we want to reach. So we spent about 6 hours talking, and besides organizational different points of view between these 2 directors who were completely embroiled, and one had called in sick and the organization was going downhill and they were losing a lot of very, very big, great opportunities. Within these 6 hours, I managed to uncover and unearth all the emotional issues and blocks they had towards each other, which they'd never told each other. Despite the fact that they were drinking buddies, they were working, they built this company, everything was going for them, and yet they were at the brink of going off the edge of the cliff as a company. And at the end of the 6 hours, one is completely ecstatic, the other is in tears because he's so happy that, he doesn't know whether he's sad or happy. And he pulls open the champagne, and they worked out whatever difficulties they had, and they parted amicably, and the company is flying high ever since. So that's an example of non-legal mediation. And by doing that, you can avoid so much conflict, not only for the 2 directors in question, but of course the whole company was suffering. And as soon as they'd resolved their differences, the whole company was happy again. Profits were up. And what you see is whatever work you do, whether it's mediation, whether it's coaching, whether it's team building, whether it's consultancy, is that whatever you invest in your people, even if you're at a point where you think we have to really save every single penny or every single dollar or every single euro cent, is that no matter whatever you invest money-wise or time-wise, it earns itself back 1,000-fold, and you end up saving more time, and you end up making more money. And I'm definitely in favor of you making more money, because that's why you're a company. Another example of why corporate health coaching is different. The difference is that, of course, there are millions of coaches worldwide, life coaches, business coaches, personal coaches, mental coaches, confrontational coaches, walking coaches, probably soon there'll be sleeping coaches, who knows. Anyway, so with all due respect for all these coaches, the difference is that I see the human being as a whole. So accepting, of course, the client that comes in and says, look, Erik, I just want to sit and talk to you for an hour or 2 hours, or I just want to email you occasionally and, moan and get things off my chest, which is fine. Most clients come to understand that they are a whole, meaning they are a physical human being, they're an emotional human being, they're a rational human being, and if you're open to that concept, they're spiritual human beings, and they have a soul. So there's a whole unity going on behind the person. So when they come in for coaching, we talk about all those aspects, we address all those issues. There might be personal issues, whatever problems are there at the moment. I also allow people to relax physically. Relaxation exercises. I have some wonderful devices that enable you to really let go of your stress in about 10-15 minutes, completely recharge your batteries. So it's about in-depth but very short and sweet and to-the-point coaching. If necessary, I can be very confrontational and very unpleasant and very forceful, because at times, regrettably, you do have employees and you can't work out whatever it is they're not doing the way they should be doing, and people call and say, look, I have somebody and they need a kick in the butt. I say, okay, I'll do that, but I'll do it lovingly, I'll do it respectfully, because that is very important. You really have to respect and value people. And if you do that, and if you take the growth they get from that coaching and you gear it towards their professional lives, wonderful results. Works really well. Yeah.